trying to get out of the hand within 2 rolls. Hey everyone, it's Mike. Welcome back to my channel. So after playing a lot of strategies and looking at a lot of videos, I think I've come to the conclusion that I want to play a strategy where I can get 2 hits and then using the winnings from those 2 hits, play all my box numbers with my winnings and put my original bets back in my rack. This is known as getting out of the hand. So I've looked at a lot of different videos. I see a lot of different ideas and strategies. I notice a lot of strategies start with inside bets. And I think everyone knows an inside bet is the 5, 6, 8, and 9. Okay? So a lot of people will start off and they'll play maybe at a $10 table and they'll play $10 inside. And that's a $44 bet. Okay? They may try to get a hit here or 2 hits, spread out and get the rest of the box numbers covered. But you'll need another 2 or 3 hits in order to have enough winnings to where you're now playing all the box numbers with your winnings and you put your original 44 initial bet back up in your rack. So they start with maybe a 15 on the inside. 15 on the inside would look like this. 66. Okay? Depending on your level of risk, you might even go with a $20 inside for 88. And then if you actually wanted to go one more higher, you could go with a $25 inside for 110. So the problem with the inside bets that I've been seeing a lot of people comment about is they don't pay as much as the outside bets. And that's for good reason. The inside bets have a higher frequency of being rolled, so their payouts are not as great, is not as high. So a $30 place bet on a 6 and 8 wins $35. Okay? You could put that same $30 bet on the 4 and the 10 and you'd be closer to $55, $60. Okay, depending if it's a buy bet or a place bet. So I've got a strategy I'm going to try today that plays the outside numbers. And I'm going to try to get 2 hits and then take all my bets down and just play with the winnings from my first 2 hits. In other words, get out of the hand. So let me go ahead and take everything down. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to play a 120 outside strategy. Now 120 may seem a little unorthodox because it's not the same amount on the 4, 5, 9, and 10. Your outside numbers are 4, 5, 9, and 10. So if I put an outside bet, if I put $5 outside, it's $20. If I go with $10 outside, it's $40. $15 is $60. $20 is $80. I'm looking for 120. 25 on the outside gives me 100. And then if I go to the $30, that's 120. But the way I'm going to set it up is I'm going to do $25 on the 4 and the 10 and take that extra $5 and move it over to the 5 and the 9. So I'm going to go $25 on the 4 and the 10, and then I'm going to bump the 5 and the 9 up by 10 to $35. That's another way of doing 120 on the outside. So you could do 30 on the outside numbers for 120, or you can do it the way I'm doing it here. And here's my thoughts. And I saw this on Casino Quest when they played it. So if you look at this setup, the first hit, and I'm going to put these on the place. I'm going to make these place bets instead of buy bets, because I think the first hit here should pay $49. And what I'm going to do with that $49 is I'm going to take 40 of it along with my 120. So now I've got 160, and I'm going to spread that across to 160 across. And I'm going to put the additional, or the remaining $9 I'll put in my rack. So after one hit, I will take everything down and go to a 25 across, which is 160. And I'll try to get one hit there. And this bet will either get paid 35 if I get the inside numbers, or it'll pay 48 if I get the outside numbers. And if I can get that second hit on the inside numbers, I'll regress down to 64 across, playing with my winnings. But if I win the $48 on the 4 and the 10, I should have enough I can play 96 across with my winnings. So let's go ahead and try it and see how it works out. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for a point to be established. Okay, there's a 7. That's a pass line winner. We're not playing the pass line. We're assuming someone else is shooting. Okay, there's a 6. So the puck's going to move to the 6. So I'm going to take $25 on the outside, and then I'm going to bump up the 5 and the 9 an additional $10 each. I have 120 across the outside numbers, on the outside numbers, but they're not the same amount of bets. It's 25 on the 4 and the 10, 35 on the 5 and 9. I'm looking for a hit, one hit here. Okay, there's the 9. Oops, I should have put those on the place. Okay, that paid $50. So I'm going to take that 50, I'm going to take 40 of it, plus my 120, and I'm going to go to 160 across. And I'm going to make these place bets. Okay. 160 across. I want one more hit. There's a 2. And there's a 4. Now, remember, if I hit the 4 or the 10, I should be able to go to 96 across, because I've got 95, 75 as winnings. Okay? So now what I can do is I can go 15 across with that $95, take everything down, across for 96. Okay, so I've got $95 in winnings, and I've got a $96 bet. So in essence, I'm playing with my winnings. So my original $500 is back in my rack. Okay, so this says I've got 499 in my rack. So I'm basically, after 2 hits, I'm playing with winnings, and my initial and original starting rack, my original starting stack is back in my rack. Okay, so now at this point, I can then do a collect and press. I can power press. I can build a tower on the 6 and 8. Whatever you want to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to collect, because I'm a conservative guy. I want to get some money in the rack. So let's try to do a collect here. So there's a 4. Okay, again, I'm going to put these on the place. Let's move these over to the place bets. I know you get paid a little more on the buy bets, but I'm trying to get my payouts to be kind of what I would see if I was standing at the table. Okay, so there's my first hit. I'm going to collect it. The next hit I will probably press. Okay, let's see if we can get another hit. There's the 9. Okay, so I won 21 plus my 15. I would take my 9 up to 36. Okay, I think my 5 and 9s go to 36. My 4s and my 10s will go up to 40. And then my 6s and 8s will be in increments of 6. Let's see how that works out. My next hit, I'm going to try to collect. And it's a 7 out. Okay, so I rolled 9 times. I got out of the hand after 2 hits. And then I started my collecting and pressing and hit the 7 out, but I still net profit $29. So if I look at that shooter, rolled 9 times, I never did make the point, never did cover the point, but I did make $29. Okay, so we're on to the next shooter. Shooter number 2, we're going to go ahead and get a point established. There's a 7. This is why we don't play the come out rolls. There's the 4. So the puck will move to the 4. I'm going to go ahead and get set up with $25 on the outside and an extra $10 on the 5 and the 9. Okay? So a lot of people are going to say the 6 and the 8 are going to roll over time. They're going to roll more than the 4, the 5, the 9, and the 10. So they would not think this is a very strategic bet. But in this case, I'm looking for bigger payouts, and I want to get 2 hits and get to the point where I'm out of the hand playing with my winnings. And that's why we're doing this. If there's a shooter at your table that's just rolling 6s and 8s all the time, you probably don't want to set this strategy up. But let's go ahead and try it again and see how it works out. Like, there's the 8. 8's a very common number, but we don't have a bet on the 8. Oh, let's make these place bets. Okay, let's get an outside number. Nope, there's a 7 out. Okay, so of course, with any strategy, a quick 7 out, even a 0.7 out or a 0.1 roll 7 out, is going to always hurt your strategy, regardless of what your strategy is, unless you're playing the dark side or playing a hedge on the 7. So my point was the 4. I rolled 1 number and then the 7 out. So that shooter is done. We go to the next shooter. Let's get a point. Okay, we're back out on the 4. And this is shooter number 3. Let's go ahead and get set up on the outside. 35 on the 5 and the 9. Let's get an outside number. That's an outside. Oh crap! I wanted to put these back on the place. All right, there's a $49 win, $48.75. So I'm gonna take 40 of that plus my 120 and go 160 across. So 160 across. Let's make these place bets. Okay, I want one more hit. There's a 3. There's the 4. Now, we've won 45 and 48. So we've won 48.75. So think of that as 49. So we're at $94. Okay, we could play 96 if we invested a couple dollars. Definitely we can play 64 and we'd be out of the hand. Or the puck is off. Let's get a point. Points of 5. Or because we took that big hit on our second shooter, we may want to keep these bets up another roll. So we've proven our strategy. 2 hits, we could be out of the hand for this shooter. But I need to make up some of my losses from shooter number 2. So I may just go out on a limb here and play another 1 or 2 hits at this level right here. Let's see if that pays off or not. There's an 11. That does not help. Let's go ahead and roll. Nope, there's the 7 out. Okay, now we took a $160 hit, but we did have some winnings. Okay, so we're still down. That one hit, that one shooter that took the real quick point 1 roll and 7 out really hurt us. So let's see if we can't get back to a positive territory. Let's go ahead and establish a point for our next shooter. Okay, the point is a 6. Let's go ahead and get set up on the outside. I'm going to put these as place bets this time. And let's add $10 on the 5 and $10 on the 9. 1 hit. There's the 9, pays $49. That's what the strategy says. First hit pays $49. So I'm going to take 40 of that plus my original 120, and I'm going to go 160 across. Okay, just like this. 160 across. I need another hit. There's a 3. And there's another 7 out. So quick 7 outs are going to kill us, but I think the strategy kind of makes sense. If the strategy worked the way it was intended, you could get out of the hand and playing with your winnings in 2 hits. And then after that second hit, you could go to a 96 across, play your collect and press. I think we get a few more minutes. Let's try one more shooter. So this will be shooter 5. Let's get a point. Let's see if we can't minimize some of our damages here. So there's an 8. So the puck's going to move to the 8. 25 on the outside. Add $10 on the 5 and the 9. Okay, so I've got all placed bets here. I need 1 hit. There's the 6. We don't have a bet on the 6. There's the 5. That's a $49 win. We take everything down. We go 25 across. And I'll leave my buy bets in place now because I need every penny I can get. So let's get one more hit. And another 7 out. Okay, so let's take a look at these shooters. So our first shooter, we rolled 9 times, which was okay. Okay, that was good. And then we had a quick 4 and out, 7 and out, 4 and out, 4 and out. So no matter what strategy you're playing, unless you're playing the dark side, those short rolls are gonna hurt you. So I may try it again, but I think that's where I'm going to end the video here. I may try it again just to see if I can get that one long roll, maybe a shooter that can roll 20 times, and see if we can really build this up. So that's going to be our video for today. It's a 2-hit and then play all your box numbers with your winnings. Casino Quest, I think, called it double tap, or a variation of their original double tap. And double tap basically means 2 hits, but I think they played it a little bit differently. But this is just a variation. So anyway, hope everyone's having a great day. It is Friday. Have a good weekend. And as always, thanks for watching.